Hello. Welcome to your mini reading, which is really short because the $50 one question ones are my mini readings basically. Um, but I yap forever, so it might be a little longer. But you know how these work by now. Sorry it took me a minute. I've been trying to get things done. It's been crazy over here, but I know that you had asked like who was going to be your baby daddy thing or which guy was it, and it sounded like a paternity test type thing. And then you told me no, it's not. You're just wondering who the better choice was. I don't know who the choices are. I don't know if you emailed it to me or not, but if it's a choice between two, because I feel like even if there's multiple options here, there's two significant people to you that you were wondering about. And didn't you say one of them turned out to be a fucking dickbag? Because it's like option number one, no, see you later, bye. Or was it option number two? Because what's weird is in this deck, I have two different decks combined, and I was searching for the overall energy. I wasn't even using that deck, and all the cards are face down except for Man Holding Heart, and that was, I'm looking into this for you. But what's behind it, the card on the top, like this was on top like this, and this was underneath, and I was like, what is that? This is not for you. So I feel like there is whichever dude this is, because option number one is probably gone, because that's the one that you said you already found out is a douche nozzle. So bye bye. Does it begin with an S? An S name? Bye bye. I don't feel like either one of these people are for you, because there's someone here that might offer you commitment or offer love or something. It's almost like there's potential here. But what's hidden behind this motherfucker is this person's not for you. It won't last. It would be a very temporary connection is what I'm feeling. This isn't your forever after. It's not baby daddy material. I don't even feel like you'll entertain this person because you're questioning things, because I feel like you want to know, because with light is clarified by dark night of the soul, and I feel like these people are illuminating issues that you have within yourself, like within your love life, like fears. I don't know, they're shedding light on something you need to work through in order to find your person, ultimately, in order to find the one that's worth keeping around, your ever after, because we also have desert, which is like solitariness is what it says. So it's like being alone, and it's feeling alone, but you need to spend some time alone, spiritual work and self-discovery in order to find yourself, because through finding who you are, what you want, and all that, and really knowing, clearing out the darkness, basically, because that's what these people are shedding light on, is the dark aspects of what draws you to people. Like, why were you interested in these two people? What was it about them? Were they like, did they sweep you off your feet? Were they gentlemen? Were they Casanova? Were they handsome? Were they, what was it? What triggered you to go, I like you, or I like you, and then, kind of falls to shit. So what was that trigger? I feel like that's where you'll find answers, and through spending some time alone and not dating anyone, you're gonna really find yourself, and through finding who you are, you'll find the one you're supposed to be with, because when we date, the ones that we're attracted to, usually we see aspects of ourselves within that person, even if it's a minor thing, because it's just human nature for us to fall in love with our own looks. It sounds very vain, but even if we are like, oh, we're ugly, or oh, I need to change this, that, or whatever about myself, we're naturally drawn to similar things, similar people, you know what I mean? So it's like, my face shape is like an oval, so I'm prone to look for people who have a similar face shape to me without even realizing it. I have an ex-boyfriend that has the same mouth as me. It's really weird. I never noticed it, but there are pieces of me within the people that I've dated, some of them. And I kind of feel like through spending some time alone and really going within, you're going to figure these things out about yourself, and then you're going to know who you want to stay away from, because the positive attributes that we find within people, we also see the negative attributes. So the negative side of these Casanova boys, I'm going to call them boys because real men don't treat women the way that these two probably would, because I just don't get a very good energy off from them. There's like flakiness here, like they're just non-committal. It's like different times in their lives, basically. It's like your wants and needs differ. But the unhealthy aspects of these individuals that's making them not for you, you can find some of those aspects within yourself too. So what are they? You know, shed light on those dark spots, because once you realize what you're doing wrong, and I'm not saying you're a bad person and that you're out hurting people, that's not what I mean, but like for example, I found myself in many abusive relationships, because this is the darkness that I'm talking about that you need to shed light on within yourself. And I could be using this example. Sorry, my nose is running. I went for a walk and it's fucking freezing out. It froze my ass off. It's getting so cold. I really need a car. But anyways, makes my nose run. So like the example of the dark pieces of ourselves that I'm talking about that you would look into, like I found myself dating abusive men. They would rope me in with the love bombing bullshit, and then I would be stuck in this cycle of abuse basically. And when I took a second to stop and go within and spend time with myself, because I would go from relationship to relationship and it was like rebound after rebound, you know. And I've been single going on almost fucking 5 years now. It's time, bring me in a man. But anyways, besides that, a good one. I just heard he's already here. I don't even know who he is, but hopefully he'll make himself known. But regardless, when you take that time to go within, like I did, I figured out that the reason why I'm drawn to people like that is because that's what I grew up with. It was comfortable to me. Like I grew up in an abusive household where my dad would call me fat, and like he would be really mean. So I was naturally drawn to people like that because I still had that quote unquote broken side of myself that I hadn't healed. I hadn't shed light on the dark night of the soul aspects of myself. And until I did, that's the types of people I would run into. But now that I have really gone within and figured this out, those assholes don't come at me so much anymore. I mean, some will, but I'll see right through it, and I'm not attracted to it anymore. My type is changing, and I kind of feel like that's what's going to happen to you once you really go within. And I almost feel like you're going to be like, I have gone within. I don't know what else to do. Really look at these two options. Look at their traits, the good traits and the bad traits. Write them down if you have to, and then compare them to yourself, your past, or whatever. You'll find a link, and that's how you can bring it to the surface so that you can go over it and then release it. And then once you do, you're not going to want to be around people like that anymore. That's kind of what I'm feeling. So neither one of those dudes is baby daddy material. I'd stay the hell away from them. I don't see you finding anyone of significance until this healing happens, for one. But I feel like, I want to say 6 months to a year. I know that sounds like a long time, but I feel like you might meet new people before then, but they're not going to be your end all be all. They're almost like trial run people, but it'll be a good experience for you. So it's not like wasting time. Like, I don't want to be with anyone unless they're going to be with me forever. No, there's lessons tied to all the people that come into our lives. So I kind of feel like you will connect with at least a couple people romantically. I want to say at least one person, but it might be two, that won't really go anywhere, but you'll learn a lot from them, and it's not going to be a bad experience, is what I'm feeling. But yeah, out of these two, nope, wouldn't even bother with it. And then as for, I don't feel like there's going to be an earthquake in November, because when I was reading that question, the first thing that popped in my head was no. If there is one, it's going to be so subtle and minute that I wouldn't even worry about it. I feel like there could be a fear here. Hold back your fear. because this can be an ending and stuff, but this is holding back. So the end times are not near, basically, for California. I don't feel like anything significant is going to happen in November, but I do feel like there is going to be some form of mass destruction that's coming up soon, within the next few years. I don't feel like it's like, when I say soon, it's not like right around the corner, it's not next year, but it's within the next 3 to 5 years. There's something significant that is going to take place in your area. Because what I'm feeling with this is, it's almost like with a volcano erupting. Because I'm thinking of a volcano for some reason. I don't even know if that has anything to do with California, but earthquakes and stuff, you know, they're all devastating. But regardless of what it is, I'm picturing a volcano that's long overdue to erupt and wipe out everyone, or wipe out a whole area, pretty large location. But it's holding back. It's holding back destruction, meaning it's gonna blow. Like, it's a ticking time bomb. We just don't know when. Within the next 3 to 5 years, I see something coming in that area, but it's, you don't need to rush out right now. I almost feel like you won't even be there when it happens. So when this event takes place, you'll be long gone. I feel like you're going to relocate before then, and if you choose not to relocate, you might be on vacation or something. Like, you're just not going to be there. Can I get more on what's to come with any devastation in California? There's going to be another riot that comes up too. I don't know if that's in your area or if it's just in California, because it's a pretty big state, but there's another riot. Like, it's going to be a quote-unquote peaceful protest that turns not so fucking peaceful. Something to do with Antifa. I don't know, but I don't know if it has something to do with the government, like protesting against some government policies or something. Yeah, there's like an uprising because somebody wants to be heard, and it might have something to do with money. Family and money. Someone comes from family money, but I feel like there's communication. I said this before. It might take place in California. I said this in a general reading because it's coming back to me about, there's a government official is going to be found out. There'll be a lot of talk or scrutiny about embezzlement or money laundering. Someone's doing something shady with money to make something happen really quick. But I feel like this is happening now, but it's going to be found out coming up. Whatever this is going to end up hurting the little man, us, the people. I feel like this is benefiting the wealthy and fucking over the not so wealthy, the poor, the middle class, the working class, basically. But there's going to be like some type of uprising. It's definitely upheaval. I don't know. There's like a riot. It's gonna go from, this goes against our rights or something. We're demanding that this be resolved, and it has to do with money, and it's gonna turn sour really quick. I don't know. Something to do with the president is fucking corrupt. For one, politicians always are, but there's like manipulative behavior. Someone is manipulating funding for their own personal gain or for some fucking reason, and I feel like it's gonna cause problems. So there could be fires and looting and more death, basically, that comes up. I don't feel like you'll be around it, but you'll be close enough to the problem, basically. Like, it's not going to be in your neighborhood, but I feel like you could feel the ripple effect of it, basically, just because you're in that state. Somebody, there could be withholding of funding, I don't know, something to do with money and someone who's corrupt, and people are going to get pissed off about it. That's coming up, and it could start in California. But no, I don't feel like there's an earthquake coming in November, but like I said, I do feel like there is, I don't know, it could be an earthquake that's long overdue, or a volcano eruption, or both that's long overdue, because I feel like devastation is being held back, but it's coming. Something is coming. Something big is coming. Where not in 3 to 5 years, but down the line, it's almost like within the next 20 years, I almost feel, I'm being corrected, within the next 20 to 30 years, I almost feel like California is going to be underwater. But that's not like right around the corner, but it kind of is, you know, in the grand scheme of things, because that's not a lot of time if you think about it. But it's nothing to worry about today or tomorrow or anything like that. And it could even surpass the 20, 30-year mark or whatever. But I do feel like, yeah, California will be no longer eventually. I've actually had a vision of that in the past before. A lot of people don't believe in it. They think it's just a conspiracy theory, but there are a lot of civilizations that are underwater now due to flooding and, you know, earthquakes and volcanoes and shit like that. Also, this has nothing to do with you, but the volcano near, is it Mount Vesuvius? I don't know, near Pompeii, the one that wiped out Pompeii, is going to wipe out Pompeii again. It's long overdue to erupt. I almost feel like, no, that one's a ticking time bomb. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't be in any rush. I think the more devastating issues in your area, or in your state, I should say, are going to be done by people ultimately, like an uprising of sorts. The flip-flop warriors are going to band together, basically. But I feel like a lot of people are going to be really pissed off about this money thing, whatever it is. And it could also be tied to that stimulus shit that's going on. Like, you know, the government sending out stimulus money to people. It's almost like, where's this money coming from? It might have something to do with that. Where's it coming from? It might screw over some people when they find out where it's coming from. Because it's almost like, did y'all read the fine print? No, you didn't, because no one ever does. And then come to find out it wasn't even in there, you know? I don't know, something shady. But it's going to create change. And a lot of stress and worry and hardships. It's almost like we're potentially heading in the direction of another depression, thanks to Biden. Because there's like a work recession. It's almost like all the work that we've done to better our societies and to get in good standing, I guess, is going to be flushed right down the shitter. It's kind of what I'm feeling. There could also be issues surrounding vehicles. I don't know if there's going to be a car ban. I don't know why anyone would do that. Could just be in a city or in a certain location, but I heard something about a car ban, or restricting fuel, which is that would affect a lot of people. I don't know, there's some shady things, which this is bringing me into a reading that I'm going to do, and I'm going to continue off from the messages I received here and do it publicly, because I did have somebody ask me about, you know, basically what's going on in the world, what's to come, and that's some of it. And it has something to do with gas prices or restricting fuel or something. But whatever. That's pretty much what I have for you. That answers your questions. I know you said that you would get a full reading coming up soon or something like that. So feel free to get in line and do that if you would like. I hope I answered your questions. And like I said before in an email, if any money that you send me, if it's meant for questions or reading or whatever, just let me know when you send it, because I have my donations and stuff separate from my readings and whatnot, like in my books basically, because I don't always claim donations, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The government don't need to know everything. But yeah, I just like to know. And I mean, you've been very helpful, and that's why I was willing to go, okay, we'll change it over kind of thing. But for most people, I would have been like, no, you can't change it from a donation to a reading. But you've been amazing, and of course, I would love to help you out in any way that I can. And I talk too much as it is. But like I said, new love is coming up for you, but there's nothing really significant. Stay away from the two options that you had. I feel like there's just manipulation there. They're not for you. Really spend some time alone. I feel like you already are, and go within and, kind of see why you're drawn to those people, those types of people. And then that's when these other options will come in where you can learn a few lessons and have a good time, basically, until it's almost like they will, these people that you'll run into or date casually or even for a few months or something, they'll fill up the time while you're waiting for the one, if you know what I'm saying. But it won't be boring, it won't be for nothing ultimately. But that's basically the gist of it so far. If you'd like more on that or anything else, let me know, baby. You know where to find me. I love you long time. Peace.